Creepypastas are the modern-day equivalent of campfire stories. They're short, sweet, and often horrifying. They get into your head and make you think of some truly horrific things. In this video, I'll be counting down my top 10 scariest creepypastas for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Squidward's suicide centers around an intern at Nickelodeon Studios who sometimes is privileged to watch new episodes of SpongeBob and other Nicktoons before they're ever released. On the day he was supposed to preview the episode Fear of a Krabby Patty, he instead views something very different and very disturbing. This pasta is number 10 for two reasons. It was the very first pasta I ever read, and this allowed it to have quite a profound effect on me, but as the years have gone on, I have come to find it much less scary. The second reason is even though the pasta is extremely unrealistic, the content is quite shocking and disturbing. If you can suspend your disbelief, I strongly recommend this one because it is a shocker. The statue. I won't say much about this pasta because it's extremely short. It centers around a babysitter who notices the family of the children she's babysitting owns a very peculiar-looking angel statue. The ending is horrifying and brutal. This pasta is not one to miss. Jeff the Killer revolves around a previously normal boy who is horribly burned in a street fight he's in. Afterwards he goes insane and becomes Jeff the Killer. Now I know what you guys are thinking. What? Jeff is only number 8? This is folly! Well, think about it this way. Out of the thousands of creepypastas in existence, Jeff the Killer is number 8 for me. That's saying a lot. Now that being said, this pasta is pretty unrealistic. For example, why the hell did Jeff kill his brother after he had previously beaten up some kids to protect him? The pasta revolving around Jeff is a very nonsensical one, but Jeff is still a terrifying character. If I saw that face at the foot of my bed at night, I'd be scared senseless. The Grifter is about a video that allegedly was mentioned on 4chan's X board. It is reportedly the most disturbing thing imaginable, yet the real video is virtually impossible to find. Those who have seen it are reported to have been killed in their homes, all with one recurring theme: a strange doll somewhere in the house. This pasta is number 7 because it really allows your mind to soar and come up with some terrifying possibilities of what the video actually contains. Assuming it exists, of course. "1999" is about a blogger who recalls a television channel he viewed as a young boy in the year 1999. It was a local station and was very poorly made. Several shows were shown on the channel that got increasingly strange and disturbing, one of which being Mr. Bear, which was about a man in a bear suit that lured his guests into his basement. The blogger, now a young man, investigates this channel and comes to find out that what he thought the channel was about as a boy was not even close to what the channel was really about. I won't say too much more because I don't want to spoil anything, but suffice to say that this pasta is a fantastic and creepy journey that I do not recommend missing. The Rake is reportedly a dog-like humanoid creature that stalks its victims before killing them. It supposedly communicates with only its victims through some sort of telepathy. Besides the general fear and anxiety that this creature causes, a rare and strange emotion that the Rake causes is concern for its well-being. It's an intriguing and mysterious creepypasta featuring a terrifying creature that is definitely not going to be forgotten anytime soon. Otherwise known as Smile.dog or Smile Dog, Smile.jpg is about some terrifying chainmail featuring a dog with a very unnatural smile containing human teeth. Also present in the picture is a disembodied, ghostly hand that appears to be beckoning to the viewer. It urges the viewer to spread the word, and if he or she doesn't, it constantly appears to them in nightmares and visions, gradually getting more and more terrifying until the person is driven to insanity or suicide. Many say that the image originated from the devil. I find this creepypasta so scary because of the prospect of a supernatural entity that has complete and total control of your mind is one that I prefer not to think too terribly deeply about. In fact, the effect that Smile Dog has on its victims' minds is similar to the effect that the subject of my number 3 creepypasta has. This creepypasta titan needs no introduction. The only reason that the Slender Man does not hold the #1 title for me is because it has been so overly saturated by internet culture. It has been used so heavily in fan art, fan fiction, games and other media that it's become very commonplace. Even so, the Slender Man is a mysterious entity that I would not want to meet at any point whatsoever. What makes the Slender Man so terrifying is what it reportedly does to people, namely children. It stalks them relentlessly, driving them to madness with its eyeless stare before finally killing them himself. There's nowhere to fight it either. Instances of attempted violent action against the Slender Man have been reported to be completely ineffective. The fact that the Slender Man murders and possibly even rapes children is such a disturbing and unimaginable notion that it deserves every bit of its terrifying fame. If I saw this creature standing outside my window, I'd probably go cry in a corner, waiting for him to finally come for me and end it all. I couldn't have a top 10 scariest creepypastas list without the Russian sleep experiment somewhere in here, could I? This story is about Russian scientists who take 5 war prisoners and put them in a chamber together before filling that chamber with a gas that keeps the prisoners from sleeping. What follows is an extremely disturbing series of events culminating in a finale that will surely be burned into the minds of anyone who reads it. I really don't want to say much else because I wouldn't dare spoil anything for anyone who hasn't read this. Seriously. Go read this after this video's over. Now before I give you guys #1, here are a few horrifying honorable mentions that came very close to making it onto this list. Doors is a pasta that will shock you to your core because it throws a surprise at you that you will not suspect in the slightest. I know I didn't. The next one is Abandoned by Disney. What better way to scare someone than by making something they always found so happy and comforting into something that would make their heart stop? Yeah, this pasta does that. Where Bad Kids Go is horrifying for the same reason as The Grifter. It doesn't flat out describe what's so horrible about it. It makes you imagine it, and that's often worse than reading everything about it. The only reason I have just the title of Wake Up here is because this pasta is literally so short that if I say anything, it'll ruin the surprise. Suffice to say that you need to give this one a read, ASAP. Normal Porn for Normal People is probably the most disturbing pasta I have ever read, no exaggeration whatsoever. It is about an internet website titled normalpornfornormalpeople.com, a website dedicated to the eradication of abnormal sexuality. Upon entering the site, it contains nothing but useless words that don't mean much, upon first glance. The words actually turn out to be links to many different videos, each depicting a different scene. At first, the videos are relatively harmless, but as they go, they get stranger and stranger until it gets to be so horrible that I won't mention it here and spoil it for you. I love this pasta so much because it's a voyage into the darkest corners of the human psyche. There's nothing supernatural or unrealistic about this pasta. There could very well exist something this horrible in our world, and it's a notion that terrifies me to my core. Yes, some people are just that messed up. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 creepypastas. I'll be doing my top 10 worst creepypastas soon. Have a wonderful day/night. This is Levitation, signing off.